Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the KV-1, the Kliment Voroshilov 1. It's the Tier 5 Soviet heavy tank. It's located on the south spawn of Murovanka, and this one is under the command of ProvoBob. And we've got another double header because in the first battle he's in the KV-1, in the second one he's in the Valiant, the British Tier 5 Premium Medium. Game on. Well, I think most of you can tell straight away looking at the barrel that that's the 85mm gun, the F30, which is capable of doing 160 alpha with standard AP rounds, and with the premium rounds it will go through, it goes through 120 with standard, and with the premium rounds it goes through 161, and ProvoBob's loaded the premium right away. We need to have an intervention with Bob. I think we need to intervene and say, no, you're not allowed premium rounds, or at least you're rationed to only one premium round every battle because you're using too many of them. You don't need to use premium rounds with this tank. You can kill the enemy with standard rounds. Okay, he's headed off down to the east side and he's got some company. In fact, the Panzer 3J wants to stay alongside him, mainly for protection, I think, more than anything. Well, he has left Bob for a moment, but he's still looking towards Bob just to see what Bob's up to. And the M5 Stewart almost ran into Bob. Now, if that had happened when there was team damage, I think he would have lost a lot of hit points, because this is quite a heavy tank. 55 tons in weight. And that Panzer 3J that was up against it was its usual opponent, and that's a very light tank indeed. It's less than 30 tons. Okay, well, the enemy has been spotted. There's a Wolverine and an enemy Panzer 3 Aslains J. So we're waiting for the first shot, and that Wolverine's pulling back because I think he sees the KV-1 coming and thinks, uh-oh, this is problem. It won't take long to get some damage on the guy. Well, he's now aiming towards the Wolverine, puts one in for 176, a high roll. Second round takes him out of the game. Now, he did get hit by another enemy tank, a DW2. In fact, actually it was I think there was another tank seen as well. There's the Panzer 3, he takes just one shot to kill. There's a Matilda Black Prince. Now, he's going to be a little more difficult to kill. Might be a good idea for Bob to leave that guy for the moment. But he fires one in, gets a pen for 177, another high roll. The reason I say he should leave that guy for the moment, because it'd be better for him to deal with the DW2 and force the Matilda Black Prince to come back to deal with him, rather than him having to deal with the Black Prince and allow the people to shoot into the wood and get shots on him. Well, I think he listened, because he's actually turning around to deal with the DW2 and not going after the Black Prince. There's the DW2. Gets a hit for 161, another high roll. 155, a low roll at last. And another hit, 162, another high roll. Kill shot. Yep, he's got his next kill, 3 kills now. And there's a Wolverine up ahead, so he needs to deal with that guy. One shot goes in, 159 low roll. The guy pulls back into cover. Now's the time you move forward and engage the enemy closely. That Wolverine's going to be thinking twice about engaging Bob. Bob's only a few hit points away from actually getting the amount needed for a high caliber. 638 more hit points. You can see that on the mod I've got at the top of the screen. I like to have some of these mods because they're very useful to know how far and how well you've done in the battle so far. The Wolverine has pulled back, but in his place comes this BT-7. Now, that tank's got very little armour and a small gun. And yeah, we are starting to take damage from the Wolverine. He needs to get rid of that BT-7. Now he needs to go low to get below the ability of that Wolverine to fire back. He can't see the Wolverine and he's getting lots of hits. In fact, he's now badly damaged us because Bob didn't move fast enough to get to the Wolverine. The Wolverine pulled back, so he was behind the bushes. Now he's dealing with a DW2 kill shot. Well, he doesn't get it. In fact, it goes to the Wolverine on his own team. Now, what he needs to do now is get low next to the water so the Wolverine can't see him. And if he does that, then he can move up on the Wolverine. The Wolverine won't see him until it's too late, until he's too close. Now the Wolverine's got that 75mm gun, so we know that he's capable of doing about 115 alpha each shot, and Bob's only got 174 left, so 3 shots and he's out. In fact, less than 3 shots, probably. There's an M10 RBFM up there as well, and he's almost the same as the Wolverine in his capability. Now Bob's still too high, he needs to go lower. That Wolverine's still watching for him, and we can see the Wolverine's actually moved over. And there he is, he's moved over, and the M10's been killed. No, Bob can't see the Wolverine. Now go low, go low. Go low. The Wolverine's just been killed. Okay, now he can move forward. This is good. He's got to be careful that he doesn't come across somebody who might be able to do a lot of damage to him quickly. The only tanks that are actually capable of dealing a lot of damage fairly quickly are the Churchill 3 and the Leopard. The M8A1 could be a problem because, of course, he's got the 57mm gun, which will pen just about anything with the APCR rounds. And don't go up anywhere high. Stay low so they don't see you coming until it's too late, and then you can start getting big hits on them without them being able to do much damage. So I'd say stay low, go to your right. He's using the bushes instead. You're much better off going into the ground depression. When you're low on hit points, stay where the enemy can't hit you, where they can't see you even, because the lower you are, the more the ground actually obscures you and makes it more difficult for the enemy to get shots. We are doing well in this battle. We're 5 up on the enemy. I'd still say go right. You're actually still too high, and that M8A1 could be the big problem if he spots you. He also might draw back some of his teammates if he suddenly realises he's in trouble. Turn to your right. Okay, now stay behind the tree line and move forward. So he was already as far to the right as he could be. Sometimes it actually does catch me out that I've taken off the borders, because it does actually theoretically shows or makes it look as if the battlefield is larger than it actually is. He's now in the tree line. The M8A1 is directly ahead of him, and he just killed our T-34 shielded, but the M8A1 can't see Bob, because Bob is in the trees. And you see that's where the terrain and the trees actually assist him. But you can see the tree just knocked down by the M8A1, so we know where he is. We just need to stay right on the edge of the map, use the ground to protect us. He's been spotted now, but it's not the M8A1 who spotted him, it's the Churchill, and the Churchill just got wiped out because he got seen. A Leopard fired around in our direction, but our armour is blocking him. Oh, he actually hit the Leopard, even at distance, and he got 1 kill shot. So he's now got 5 kills, and there's only 2 left on the enemy team, but unfortunately one of those was a T-67 who managed to get an accurate shot in. But he's died, and that means the last remaining enemy is the M8A1. So we know that Bob's got 5 kills. Unfortunately he's out of the game, but I think our team's going to win because they're overwhelmingly winning this 9-1. Yeah, I don't think the M8A1's going to stay alive for very much longer. T-67 going in for the kill. It's the AMX who gets the kill, but the battle is a victory. So this one's all over, and it was a victory, but Bob was not alive at the end, and he did burn some ammo. So let's have a look at the end of battle results. Well, here's the end of battle results, and that was the second class tanker for ProvoBob in the KV-1. He managed to get a fighter badge for getting at least 4 critical hit, 4 kills rather. He got 5 in the end, 1 short of getting a top gun and 1 short, 1/3 of the enemy team, I should say. He got a second mark of excellence during that game, so he's got it up to 85% now, and he's got to get it all the way up to 95 to get his 3rd mark. He's got a fighter badge for getting a fire effect, rather I should say, for getting at least more damage than the hit points for his own vehicle, but he missed out on getting the high caliber because he couldn't get enough hit points towards the end. He was close, but he wasn't there. So his win rate from that battle, 7,567. Let's have a look at team score. Well, we can see when it came to damage at the end, it was the Wolverine on his own team who did best with 2,167 hit points. He had the second highest damage, 1,729, and the third highest damage in the game went to the T67. He got 1,477. When it came to kills, though, he was top dog with 5 kills. 3 kills went to the Wolverine T67. And when it came to base XP, it's ProvoBob. Yes, he's got 991 in that one. 902 goes to the Wolverine, and 756 went to the T67. He fired 19 shots, got 14 direct hits on the enemy, 14 penetrations, 1,729 hit points, of which 67 were at more than 300 meters, so most of the damage was done at close range. 19 hits received from the enemy, 9 penetrations, 10 non-penetrations, and 750 hit points blocked by armor. Most of the damage was done by that Wolverine, and he kept on hitting Bob because Bob was too high up. He could see him above the ridgeline, and he kept putting a round in, and it eventually told, whilst Bob was trying to kill the BT-7, which is a relatively powerless light tank, he was being taken out of the game by the Wolverine, so he wasn't prioritising the right target or taking the right position to avoid the enemy getting shots on him. Okay, so he damaged or spotted 6 enemy vehicles, damaged 8 of the enemy, killed 5, did 804 hit points of damage assistance, or spotting assist I should say, 42,320 credits for the game after repair, ammunition, resupply, consumables, and yes, he did use far too much premium ammo yet again. He ended up with a loss of 34,385 credits. He's got to stop using premium ammo. With a 85mm gun, the F-30, you don't need to use premium ammo. You can penetrate these enemy tanks with standard ammo, and in fact I'd suggest to Bob that he needs to effectively take all premium ammo off his tank altogether and just try and play the game with standard ammo only, or with a few HE rounds to make it up, and see how well he can do on that. I think he'll be shocked at how much profit he makes off every game. 1,486 XP, 2,974 for completing a mission, 4,460 experience points altogether. So there's your first battle, 2 marks of excellence on a KV-1. Let's have a look at the second battle, and that's in the Valiant. And the second battle in the Valiant, the Tier 5 British Premium Medium Tank, described by David Fletcher as the worst British tank of all time, I think. Still in the Tank Museum, the only version. Absolutely dreadful tank, but it was built, therefore it is in the game, unfortunately. Wargaming, I think, were playing a joke on everyone when they put this tank in, but you can see that ProvoBob has actually 3-marked his Valiant, and we're on the south spawn of Murovanka just like we were before, and heading in the same direction. Well, this time, instead of an 85mm gun, you're looking at a 75mm gun capable of 110 alpha, penetrating 144 with the premium rounds, and with the standard rounds 91mm. So in a tier 5 game, it's still going to be fairly powerful, but he's much better off in saving a lot more money if he fires standard ammunition, because this thing does have fairly good armour at the front and rear. 114mm is at the front on the hull. On the rear it's 75mm, well actually on the hull it's 60, 75 on the sides. Still decent ammo though, decent ammo, decent armour. Now yet again, ProvoBob using his premium ammo. He's been spotted by the enemy, and we can see he's up ahead. Somebody looking through those gaps in the tree line. He needs to get to a point where he's in cover and then he can open fire. It's the 14 TP or the M5 Stuart that saw him, and rounds will be incoming very shortly. The M4A1's the one that's taking the damage at the moment. Okay, Skoda T24. Most of these are fairly weak tanks. With standard ammo, he'll easily penetrate them. So there's no need for him to be loaded with premium at the moment. He's much better off to keep that ammo for the KV-1s when he finally comes across those, because there's a pair of KV-1s on the enemy team, and a Valiant as well. In fact, he'll need the premium ammo to get through the hull of the Valiant. Okay, there's the Stuart. Yep, got him with a hit, but it's a low roll, 101. There's the Valiant. Pumps one through the side for 122, which is a high roll. No, that's going to go into the building. That's not going to do any damage at all. Will knock the building down there. I do wish they'd actually have fully destructible buildings in the entire game, so you could actually demolish a building with an artillery round. That would be quite good fun. KV-1, it's nasty seeing the enemy heavies, and this is where they will need the ammo, but actually just aiming into the weak spots will be enough. Pumps around into a Valiant. You see his armor is blocking the shots from the KV-1. Easily getting through the turret to that KV-1. And I think, if I remember set correctly, seeing that he's got the... Oh, here comes the Skoda with his 75mm. Locks on, fires one in, gets a hit, a high roll. Or was that a low roll? Actually, no, it's a 115 alpha, isn't it? So it's no, 110 alpha. So it means it was a high roll. And he got a high roll there as well. Now, the KV-1 needs to aim for the weak spots. That strip where the driver's ports are, that's the easy spot to hit. But he fires that one into the turret. And now he's facing the other Valiant. And this is where the premium rounds will help. But he actually just needs one to take that Valiant down. He's taking fire now from the Skoda, who's popping up over the ridge lines to fire his 75mm in. And the enemy, well, he's actually doing quite well because he's got a patrol duty now for the amount of spotting he's done. Here comes the 85mm armed KV-1. Now that guy can do a lot of damage fairly quickly with the 85mm. Keep pumping those rounds in, and he's gone. Now you can use standard ammo because you won't need premium rounds anymore. All of the tanks in front of you are very weakly armoured. But he's still firing premium ammo. Huge mistake. He's going to lose a lot of credits for no reason. Well, there goes the M5A1 Stuart. I think the best thing I can do for Bob to help him improve his game is actually to say I won't do any won't do any videos for him unless he starts using standard ammo instead of premium ammo in these tanks, and I think that way he might actually encourage him to start doing it, otherwise he won't get any videos done. Well, they're almost won this game because there's only two enemies left, a Panzer IIIJ and a T80, and both of those tanks have got very weak armour. The T80 just tried to penetrate him with multiple rounds. They all bounced off. Yep, it's getting nice hits on this guy. Chasing after him in a Valiant, which is a very slow tank. Maximum speed 19 kilometers an hour. But there you go, he's actually staying still. Another 3 rounds and he's dead. That's one. And the kill shot actually goes to the T1 Heavy. And that was the end of the game because they're all dead now. There was a reduced numbers game. Here's the end of battle results, and that was an ace tanker game for ProvoBob in the Valiant. He got a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage, a fire for effect for doing more damage than hit points to his own vehicle, and yes, he did pick up a patrol duty for being the only one spotting at least 6 enemy tanks whilst they were damaged. And I think that was because he was right at the edge of the wood, and he was highlighting the enemy tanks as they were popping up to take shots, and his teammates behind him were actually then getting good shots into the enemy, and they couldn't be seen in return, which meant that he was picking up the spotting off those ones. His win rate from the battle was 5,428, which is Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in this game. That went to the KV-1 on his own team, who picked up a high caliber for 1,878 hit points. Second highest damage was ProvoBob with 1,600. Third highest damage in the game went to the T-34 on the enemy team, got 1,334. When it came to kills, it was actually the Matilda who did the best in this one on his own team, got 3 kills. 2 kills went to the KV-1, to ProvoBob, to the T1 Heavy, and also to the T-34 on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, that was ProvoBob because he got so much spotting in that game. 1,363 base experience points to him, 922 went to the KV-1, and the third highest was the T-67 with 457. He fired 24 shots, got 19 direct hits on the enemy and 16 penetrations, damage of 1,600 hit points, all of it at close range, 11 hits received from the enemy, only 4 of which penetrated, 7 non-penetrations, 470 hit points of spotting assist. He spotted 2 enemy vehicles, damaged 6 in the enemy, killed 2 and did 1,722 hit points of spotting assist. He earned 46,605 credits from the game, 50,000 for completing the first mission of the day, first win of the day, 96,605 credits altogether, and after repair and ammunition resupply and consumables, took away a profit of 35,254 credits. 2,044 XP times 2 for the first victory, 818 for this being a premium vehicle, took away 4,907 experience points altogether. Again, he didn't make as many credits as he should have made. If he'd actually fired standard ammunition, he would have made a lot more, because he actually ended up with a lot less due to that premium ammo. As I said, most of the tanks he was up against, the only ones that he really had to worry about were the KV-1 and the Valiant on the enemy team, because they were the ones who had the tough armour. But he still managed to puncture through those ones, and yes, he did get some nice damage off them. He did get the kill on the Valiant, actually, for that matter. But he could have fired at most of those enemy tanks with just standard rounds of ammunition, and he would have easily carved straight through them. So 2 wins, 1 ace tanker on 1 game. On the other one, he did get a 2nd class, but he got a 2nd mark of excellence. So 2 fairly good games from the same spot on Murovanka. But I think actually the lesson here for ProvoBob is that he needs to stop using premium ammo, because he's using far too much. It's costing him credits, and I know he likes to blast away with the ammunition just to have a bit of fun plinking the enemy, but really the whole game, the whole point is to progress in the game by actually getting lots and lots of credits off wargaming by hitting the enemy with standard ammo and penetrating them easily with standard ammo, and that way you can practice hitting your weak spots on the enemy and take them out of the game very, very quickly, and also effectively by making it very cheap. So if you enjoyed both those replays, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And of course, please do let other people know that this channel exists and that we've got a 2nd one called The General, where you can watch replays without any commentary whatsoever. Thanks for watching.